My name is Hilary Krzywkowski, and I have two poems. The first is from my father. Concerning rivers. I resolved to write a poem concerning rivers, how they started from the humblest circumstances and gathered speed and power, driven forward by the very rocks rising from their currents, contributing to rapids, how the river crawling from an isolated marsh or skirling from a shallow stream gradually attracted a far-flung retinue of farmlands, cities, bridges, boats, and birds. How like a rolling ball of snow it accumulated debris on its way to the sea, where it slowed to a canter and then balked. When it came to the sea, the river oozed like blood into the greater expanse of sky and water. I resolved to liken this process to the spread of ideas, to a child's first attempts at speech, the evolutions of planets, suns, and poems. Concerning rivers, I had not much more than the power of their wild and musical names, with which to call their spirit. Their names like tinder, firing my responses. So then resolved to discover something of myself in rivers. But a strange thing happened on my way to the sea. I died, and in death's dream of being human, I saw at last, as from a mountain, all the rivers of the world flowing together, all afire with their own longing, and on the rim of the great whirlpool floated the small boat of my childhood. The next poem I have to read is my own, titled Manifest Destiny. While waiting for my son to come out of his OT appointment at Akron Children's, medical technicians micromanage the unfolding petals of childhood. PhD'd brains unanimously decide it should be called development, a forcibly renamed life cycle diluted with the New Age sorcery of mechanical blossoming, socio-genetic programming out all signs of life, and a headmistress calls this convoluted structure of civilization brain function. In prostration to the wires of curriculum pasted on a state-licensed forehead, we learned the lessons, read the writing in censored books like it was 1984 all over again. And no talk with hands. Instead, hands collapsed around a pencil must draw carefully metered forms. Education specialists cannot handle a child's life force. They call it dysfunction and disorder. It's anecdote. Special ed. But real development disables long valued yet rotting social structures founded by fathers who raped the children themselves by the sweat of their brow before pulling a plow through the tender loam of the womb. Slipping the pistol into mother's mouth, they'd blow away their own reflection, mirror shrapnel, intellectual entanglement. No words can suit the meaning of life. It's shoes too small, too large, too pointy, and too wide, too expensive. Everyone wears shoes that do not belong to. Not every human can afford ignorance and must go out into the world, straight out of the womb in most cases, to a brick hut where inside the teats are fashioned from petroleum byproducts and excrete the milk of printed paper or numbered plastic, sworn by the wealth and affluence of the conquistadors, who took captive shamans and bent them over Bibles and cut off their hair and forced pure and tender places open to the self-righteous excrement of white devils. I know all of this. Yet we are all here today participating in the great tradition of progress, libertas. And I wait while my innocent little boy is alone in a room with another woman who will pretend to be his friend, trick him with a treatise for peace while tapping his brain for its natural resources. But I will take this boat as far as the fork, and then all unexpected like, we will close our eyes together, each from our respective positions in space, and materialize a bend sending us along a new course, far away from here. We shall disappear to the place of my boy's choosing, because only his imagination is safe. Deep into the core of substance we are going, deep into the spirit of things.